All right, now we get to do some difference quotients. First with this one. And the difference of quotient again was f of x plus h minus f of x over h, a calculus thing. So we got to write f with x plus h put in for the x's minus f with the x's staying x's over h. So x plus h into here, we got 4 times x plus h. The x is replaced with x plus h plus 3. And then here we just have 4 plus 3x, 4x plus 3, excuse me. So being careful with our math here, 4 times all this would be 4x plus 4h plus 3, then minus all of this. So minus 4x and minus that positive 3 is minus 3 over h. The 4x's cancel, the plus 3 and the minus 3 cancel, and we get 4h divided by h, which is 4. Which makes sense because the difference quotient finds the slope, and this was a line, so the slope is always 4, and that's what we got. Parabola, the slope changes, and so we should have some x's left. So difference quotient, we start off with f of h, x plus h, minus f of x. F of x is just the original function. And over h, and f of x plus h, there's an x. So that's where x plus h goes. Minus there's an x, so we replace that with an x plus h. And then if we do the arithmetic, x plus h times x plus h is x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. That's that. Minus this quantity, so that's minus x minus h, and that's not minus the 4 but plus 4. And then we have to subtract an x squared. We have to subtract a negative x, which is plus x, and we have to subtract 4 over h. So we have x squared minus x squareds cancel. 2xh, no other xh's. H squared, no other h squareds. Minus x plus x, cancel. Minus h, no other h's. Plus 4 minus 4, cancel. So I have 2xh plus h squared minus h over an h. I can factor an h out. We can't cancel here unless we divide the h into all of them. But we can just take the h, factor out the h in the numerator, and we get 2x plus h minus 1. And the h's cancel, and our final answer is 2x plus h minus 1. And now we have to do the difference quotient for this square root. So we're going to have f of x plus h minus f of x. F of x is going to be just that. F of x plus h means we replace the x in here with x plus h. They said rationalize the numerator. So that would be when you got two square roots, added or subtracted, you multiply by the opposite. This one's minus, so you do plus. And so we're going to multiply the numerator by square root of x plus h minus 2 plus square root of x minus 2, and the denominator by that same quantity. And we get this times this is x. This times this is x plus h minus 2. Multiplying same stuff underneath, so the square root of two identical quantities multiplied gets rid of the square root. Then we have this one times this one, which is going to be plus this times this. And then we're going to have this one times this one with a minus, so we're going to have minus that same looking mess. So those are going to cancel. And then we're going to have a minus times a plus, which is minus, and these are square roots of the same identical thing, so it'll be, gets rid of the square root and just becomes x minus 2. Put it in parentheses. Over h times square root of x plus h minus 2 plus the square root of x minus 2. X minus x cancel. Minus 2 minus a minus 2 cancels. And I have just h over this. The h's would reduce to 1 over the h's reduce. And there's my final answer. I've rationalized the numerator. No radicals left in the numerator. 93 says, figure out what a is so that f of 2, which means replace all the x's with 2, and you should get 5. So I get 2 cubed, which is 8, times 2, 16, plus a times 2 squared, which is 4, so 4a, plus 2 times 4 is 8, minus 5, and all that's supposed to come out to be 5. So 16 plus 8 is 24, minus 5 is 19, so I'll subtract 19 from both sides, and I get 4a equals negative 14. I'll divide by 4, and a, for this to happen, f with 2 plugged in for the x is coming out to be 5. A would have to be negative 14 fourths or negative 7 halves reduced, or negative 3.5. 97 said we have a rectangle where if that's the width, the length is twice the width. So the area of this would be 2w squared, but that would be the area as a function of w. They wanted it as a function of L. Well, if this is the length and it's twice as long as the width, then the width must be the length cut in half, or 1/2 L. So as a function, the area as a function of L would be L times L over 2, or 1/2 L squared. L squared over 2 would be another way to write that. And this one, it said P gives you a percentage. That's like a decimal, like 0.01, which would be 1%, or 0.1, which would be 10%, or 0.2, 20%. P gives you a percentage for some year. Percentage of your income that is spent on healthcare. I takes in the year and tells you the income you would be getting. So I is a function of the year and tells you the amount of money you get, total, and P gives you a percentage or a decimal of the income you have that gets you spent on healthcare. So the amount spent on healthcare is some percentage of your income times the income, and that would give you how much you spent on healthcare. This percentage of the income. And that's all I wanted you to see, was a way to use function multiplication to represent something useful.